All right, we're live. Saturday.
Wow, that was quick,
Billy. with Glenn and Billy. What a weekend it's been. I haven't seen a Saturday like that since the market was what the media was reporting the hottest the market's ever been.
Well, I think there was Mark, myself, you, and we had, of course, Lisa.
Yeah.
How many opens we do though? 25, 30?
Yeah, well, across the board. And then we had, obviously the rentals team out on the road as well.
Yeah.
A huge amount of open homes, and it was just buyers everywhere.
I think we're running about 20 properties on the market, which is, it's not the height of 30, but we're definitely getting them. Yeah. But today's question, there's always a lot of questions with Billy. He's very inquisitive. But today's question, is the market moving up, down, or all around? That's a bit like the hokey pokey, Billy.
Yeah.
Is it the hokey pokey market?
That was the dance I was doing last night. So happy St. Patrick's Day, everyone.
Oh, were you, Billy? Yeah. You were doing the hokey pokey.
But it's a question that's it's a good question because at the moment we've started to see our open home numbers grow month on month. We've started to see some new properties come to market.
Yeah, well, there's 60 properties in DY for sale. When the market's very tight for stock, the lowest I've seen it's 37, 35, and the highest is 120. So there's a good variety of properties. But what's been really interesting, Billy, some of the old chickens have been selling on the market. The old chickens still can make good soup. So properties that have been on the market pardon, I almost fell off the earth then. The earth's flat. But properties that have been on the market maybe for 3 months, 4 months, even up to 6 months. We all like the statistics on realestate.com that show average days on market under probably a 4-week auction campaign of 28 days.
Yeah.
But for some of our vendors, it takes them a little bit longer to get moving or to meet the market. And we have seen those properties sold. What would be 2 examples of that, Billy, like this week?
Well, we've had 2 properties, one in Belrose, one in DY. In terms of the properties themselves, they were actually worlds apart. So it's not like you can compare it. It's the property itself. That was, that's we found that, the missing buyer or something like that. So, they're very different in terms of features, but it is interesting to look at those days on market and look for 2 very different properties. They've both transacted in the last 14 days where previously the owners were waiting for their number. That simply made it work for them. So below that magic number, it wasn't a transaction that was possible, but we were able to pull it together in the last 2 weeks, which is
and what we saw was maybe an ability for the owners in a market that softened through all of last year and the beginning few months of this year to find something where if they sort of looked at what they wanted to sell for, they could match the finances together. And another that was probably a property in French's Forest, but the other one in DY, well, the owner sort of held on to what the figure that they needed, and the market moved towards it. Like I think it was last month, it was the first month in 14 months that CoreLogic or RP Data recorded growth in the property sector on pricing, which was very, very interesting, Billy.
We're frozen. I think you lost us for a sec there, but yeah, you're right. And I think the other combination of what enabled these transactions to be done is there is a little bit more stock coming to market. So
yes, people feel more confident to transact, to sell and buy.
Yeah. Both of which these vendors were moving on to other properties. Where they were able to find something where previously maybe it was not even on the market is available.
Yeah, well, when it was 37 properties on the market in DY, people don't feel very secure about making a move. So Billy, up, down, all around, or the hokey pokey, Billy? What's the market?
Well, look, I think confidence is starting to return. People have adjusted to this new way of life with interest rate where you have to, pay to borrow money from the bank.
Well, you've always had to buy money from the bank, but it's interesting to say that, Billy. Were you on a fixed loan or are you on a variable loan?
No, I've been on a variable, yes, since
Yeah,
day one.
because you purchased in 2021,
September 21.
so you've had to buffet those interest rate rises. I was fortunate that I fixed, first time in my life ever, in 100 years of living on this planet, that I fixed.
That you beat the casino.
That I beat the. No, you never beat the casino or the bank. They'll get me somewhere in the end. They're out there just waiting. But I've still got a 14-year-old daughter and a wife that likes stuff, so I'll never beat the casino, Billy.
But it's true. And the conversation we were having earlier in the office is who's had it harder? The person that's been, sort of bearing the last, a number of months where rate rises have been, going up and up and up, or is it the person that's about to get the rude awakening?
Well, look,
with a rate cliff,
Billy. Not only are you growing in height every day, but growing in really good questions, Billy. I'm impressed with that one because that's a really interesting question. A lot of people will come off fixed rates, and it would be like falling off a cliff. Where people like your good self that have had that, you've had to have discipline. You've had to go, well, I'm not gonna drink that coffee out. I'm not gonna have a night out. I'm just gonna stay home and watch TV. Or, I think people like yourself that have gone through that rate increase have set themselves up better to save actually when the rates come down the other end. Because that's a real key thing too. Like when rates are low, a lot of people, rather than just paying off their debt, there's the new car, which is very difficult to buy.
Yeah.
There's not cars coming into the country at the rate that's needed, or the boats, or the trip overseas, and factor in that these rates will be low. Where someone like yourself that has seen interest rates almost double will go, hey, this is a really good opportunity to get ahead of myself. So we can only often learn discipline through going through hardship. If everything's easy, we don't have to be disciplined.
Yeah, it's a good question. I think it's almost a topic that needs to be done on its own episode, but that's probably the one for the weekend. Have a think about it. Is the person that coming off a fixed term rate and going into a new period where it's about to double, is that harder than what the people have gone through adjusting to these rate on rate increases?
Look, Mark and Lisa actually spoke with a lot of high executives at the CBA. They had the head of Treasury from the CBA come out and give rate predictions, and the head of, when you talk about you don't beat the bank or the casino, the head of Treasury in one of these large financial institutions, they're paid not to be wrong, and they picked maybe one or two more increases than it coming down the mountain. So people that have done it tough, when the interest rates come back down, I think you're really going to prosper. And hats off to you. Like, I've seen interest rates at 9%. I haven't seen them at 17%, like some people that are a little bit older than me.
Yeah.
Bearing in mind when they're at 17%, you were buying a house in Cromer maybe for around $320,000, but your wages were a lot less too. So hats off to all the young people like Billy that have gone through this rate increase, remembering when our head of the Reserve Bank said there's going to be no increases. So you've learned another lesson as well. Nothing's guaranteed.
Yeah. But overall, confidence is back. I think I'm going to be, I'm going to have my glass half full, not half empty. And
when you talk about glasses and hokey pokey, I get very worried, mate. You've got 4 opens tomorrow. You've got the leading agent on the Northern Beaches. You're her buyer's agent for the next few weeks because Lisa's carrying so much stuff. Let's just have glasses full of ice water or or mineral water, Billy, not Guinness like last night, young fella.
On that topic, Glenn, what is on for the weekend? I hear you're dressing up as a German.
Oh, well, you've got to go as your nationality, so I'll be dressing up. I think there's some Saxons in it somewhere, and down at my brother's place, who once a year throws a big shindig, and I get an invite. Once a year he smiles, I think. So there'll be a lot of firsts tonight.
Very good. Very good. Well, that's a wrap up from the team. Open home numbers have just gone through the roof. There's been a couple of transactions, an interesting observation from the team.
And just a real quick one, still here 7 days. Billy's here 7 days. I'll be in. Anything property related, DY related, we'll have young Felix manning the coffee bar tomorrow. Please just come in, have a chat. If we're out doing appointments, we're never more than a quarter of an hour, half an hour away. Sit in here, enjoy the Wi-Fi, have a coffee. Happy to help you.
Never more than a phone call away as well. Just get on the phone, give us a ring. Love to help. Hope everyone has a good weekend. Hopefully this sun keeps shining. And how's the surf looking, Glenn?
The surf, well,
Surf report.
Surf report is it's salty and cooler than the air. So get in there. I don't think there's a lot on offer. There's a QS event. My daughter's in, and a few kids from Thailand. It's a qualifying series, so that's up at Newcastle this week.
There you go. Good luck, Iz.
Thanks. Bye.